Nigga, you're crazy. I can't afford an Xbox.
Okay, so this is a raw guitar track that I recorded. Have some effects. I'm gonna take those off real quick. This is what it sounds like without anything on it. Woo! It just sounds like a regular guitar. And that's pretty much it without any effects on it. Just straight into the computer from the audio interface. So what I like to do is right there should be like a little E on your guitar track. That's your effects. So click on that. Open up this. You'll have your effects chain right here, your EQ right here. I usually do like the main EQ first, and then afterwards I throw in a little bit of extra EQ, just to get rid of some like that noise that I really don't want. Like there's some buzzing noise I really don't like in the whole mix, but yeah, usually I start off with just a gate. So that cuts off any noise that goes below a certain frequency, so you don't get any of that hissing noise in the background, like that from the amp when you're not doing anything. And just remember those settings. But this is the only one you really need to touch. Don't touch these at all. Leave those default. This should be somewhere around 23 and 30, depending on how loud your guitar is going to be. Just the best advice for like that part is just like to play a section like this on repeat. And this right here, in case you didn't already know, this is the looper. That little blue section right there on the top of the screen, you can grab that. And when you turn this on, anything you play in between that loop gets repeated over and over again. Well, I guess that didn't work. That's retarded. Never mind, it usually does, so just ignore that. But yeah, just play an empty sound, like something that's just like not somewhere where the guitar is not playing, and just fuck with it until you're not getting any sound. But just leave it at 30 if you're not sure. You don't feel like fucking with it. It's really not that big of a deal. Anyways, it's the gate. And next is the distortion plugin. I'll put it on my other monitor. But put the drive all the way down, because that really doesn't affect the drive at all. It just makes it sound hissy, and it's bad. Put the volume, and just leave it right here, I guess. I have a preset loaded right here. When you open it up, you click this little box right here, click load preset. Then I have it set as TSE preset. Just click on that. It should load it up straight like this. But there's a preset anyways in case you want it. You can turn it on and off with this button right there. Just remember to keep it on, because it really does affect the guitar tone. Anyways, the next I have the Paul and Lecto. It's an amp. I'm not sure if you want to use Pod Farm or not, but this is a really good metal setting. And it's actually a lot better than Pod Farm as far as I'm concerned. Well, I mean, from what I've seen, I don't have Pod Farm. I have a demo, but if you want to open up the settings for these, click the E button. Open that. I'll show you again. The E button. Yeah. These are the settings I have for this. Keep the drive. I put it in orange and modern. Input at midnight. Drive at midnight. A little more lows. Middle. A little more high. Less presence. Keep the master and output at midnight, and then turn the resonance down, because you really don't want a whole lot of reverb on there. I gotta put it at like 1, a little more than 1. Anyways, and then afterwards, this is really important, Kefir. It's an amp simulation, pretty much, like a cab simulation. Make sure you turn the mix all the way up to 100. Like, this is the preset I have right now, so when you click on this little box right there, click low preset, click guitar preset, because that's what I have. And right now I have guitar hack impulses, the JJ power tube, Fred 45 -1. That's the best sounding one I've got so far. -8.9 gain. and about a 0.3 second length. But don't fuck with these because those are usually normal. You can just leave them where they are. But just make sure you put the mix up to 100. And don't touch these LRRs. You click load to actually load the sound. Just remember where they are if you do download them. Like this impulse right here is really good. You can get online for free. You can mix and match as many different kinds as you want. You can download them. But that's that. And then after you have everything loaded, was the Studio EQ. Pretty much what I did was I just searched for the sounds I didn't want and I cut it. So pretty much that right there. I took the band right here and I was looking around. I'm like, you know what? I don't like the sound I'm getting from right there, so I left it there. It's pretty much, whatever you think sounds bad, leave it at that. That should sound good. Then this EQ, I put this is a high pass filter. It's really confusing. High pass filters cut out low frequencies, and low pass filters cut out high frequencies. I usually put a cut around here because that's where most of the digital sound comes from, that little dip. And always remember, if you're going to cut a frequency, pretty much what all this is like you have audio frequencies going all the way up down here. This is like the low end, like the bass, and this is the high end. And you're going to want to cut some frequencies off to make it sound good so it's not all mudded. Like the high pass, low pass. You're going to want, whenever you cut a frequency, you're going to want to make it very narrow, and you can adjust it with this. The parametric thing right here, that's how you adjust it. If you put it at 12, it's going to be narrow, and if you put it at 0, it's going to be really wide like that. And whenever you boost a frequency, always make it wide, like this. I boosted this high mid right here to give it a little more chug to it, like more djenty sound, like durng, durng, durng. Okay, this is just to get rid of the digital sound. And cutting this and this right here, make it a little less digital. These are my presets right here. Show you those and those. I mean, I should make it a preset. In fact, I'll do that right now. Save the preset as I saved it as Jake Lol, so if you ever need that preset, it's right there. So you can just click load preset and it'll be right there. It'll automatically set up for you. Don't worry about these. The only ones you really need to worry about, because most of these were for like Affliction stuff and they used like their thing. Gang vocals are for gang vocals, and it automatically sets the thing for that. Male vocal. You're going to want to use that for your vocals. Just put that on there. And if you're recording bass, you really don't need a whole lot. Just put the bass direct input thing on, and that should EQ the bass. If you want to add a track, an audio track to record bass, click add audio track. Don't pay attention to this. This is all wrong. I'll show you in another video how to do everything else. But for bass, you're going to want to put on, like the settings for bass, you're going to want to put on dynamics, compressor, turn the ratio all the way up to 8, like all the way up, and turn the threshold to -25. Hold on. 25. Because you're going to want to compress the shit out of the bass. And then you're going to want to do that twice. Like put another compressor, do the same exact fucking thing. Dynamics, compressor. I'm not going to bother doing it right now, but you're going to want to have 2 of those. And then go up here. Scroll down, bass. That's what it's going to look like. It's already preset for you, so you don't really need to do anything. But what I did was I scooped out the low, like the mids right here, because you really don't need that in the bass. I boosted the highs to give it more of that clanky sound. You got presets right here, in case you need them. I cut the low end pretty far because you're going to want a little more low end there. Yep, and alright, that's about it for guitar. Another thing, make sure whenever you record a guitar track for like the rhythm guitar, always make sure you have 2 tracks. Like I'm gonna add another track. Make sure you do the same settings for that one. Yeah. Make sure you do the same settings for that one. Everything the same as you did for the other track. Except you're going to make one all the way to the right. All the way to the right. And the other one all the way to the left. It gives it a stereo fill and it makes it sound really good. You don't need to do that for anything else. Just the guitar. Well, only the rhythm guitar. For the lead guitar, you really only need to do 1 track and keep it in the center. In the lead guitar, you don't want to put the center. But always make sure whenever you have a rhythm guitar track, put two tracks of that. And yep, it's better for guitar and bass. Oh fuck. Okay, so here I'm gonna show you how to do bass real quick. This is an Affliction song. I have it on here. This is just the bass track. Wait. This, I'm just going to take off all the effects. If you click these buttons right here, if they turn yellow, it means they're off. So I'm just going to turn those off and just listen to what it sounds like. Well, it sounds pretty good because, you know, they used a really good bass, but turn the EQ and the effects on. All I have are two compressors, you know. Same as I told you before. It should sound a lot better. Sounds a lot more full. And I have a slightly different EQ setting. I cut right there, but generally keep it what I had in the preset before, and it should sound good. But pretty much the reason why I have two compressors on there is the bass is usually, like, it has really loud and really soft points. It goes up and down and up and down. You really don't want it to be, like, all over the place when it comes to sound, because there's some parts where it's going to clip. So what the compressor does is it takes all the loud parts and makes it soft, so it's all one steady, you know, thing. So you're not clipping, so that's pretty good. And, okay, drums. Drums, what you're going to want to do, you're going to want, like, when you want to make a drum track, just click Add Instrument Track, and click SSD Sampler right there. And pretty much what that's going to do is when you do that, it's going to open up, like, it's going to say SSD Sampler up here. You want to go here and click that little keyboard, hold on the side of the screen when you have this highlighted. Click on the drums track right here if it isn't already highlighted. Like if it's on VST Expression, you don't want to be there, just click drums right here. It should open up this window right here. Make sure GM map is selected, because normally it says no drum map, so click GM map. Then go to the keyboard thing right here, and it should open up the drums. Go to Construct Kit, Kits, and Metal 1. It's the best setting. Just double click it and, you know, it'll set it up. Then go back to Instruments, go to Classic Volume 2, Snares, Snare 11 SSD, and drag that right there, because it's a better sounding snare than the one that they had on that metal kit. So just do that. It should sound pretty good. I'll just play the drum track real quick, the drum and the bass, just to hear what it sounds like. I'll just play the drums. And as you can see, you don't need any effects on the drums. I put a little bit of reverb on it, but those are sends. You really don't need to worry about that right now. That's just to give it a really, really professional sound. And this is your little thing right here. Click this to go all the way to the beginning. Never click this, because there's no reason why you ever want to go to the very end of the freaking song. Okay, I mean, it doesn't take you to the end of the song, it takes you to the end of the whole freaking thing. To record a track, shit, probably should have mentioned that earlier. Click on the track you want to record. If you click on any other track, it won't work. The track you want to record has to be highlighted. Make sure that little record button is highlighted. If you want to hear the guitar back, click this and it'll play it back while you're recording it. But if you're playing it back, if you want to hear it when you're playing it back after you record it, make sure this is on, like, not highlighted, because otherwise you won't be able to hear it. Like, listen. This is with the thing on. I put the click track on. This is with it off. You know what I mean? You know what I mean, Jelly Bean? Anyways, that's that. And, pretty much for this I put 2 lead guitar tracks, both panned 100% left and 100% right, and the 2 rhythms I put 70% left and 70% right. Yeah, and those effects are all the same. For the drums, when you're editing them, pretty much you don't want to right click and hold it down. And this is pretty much all your settings right here when you hold it down, and let go when you're over the draw tool, and draw a little box right here. You can drag it out as long as you want or need. Then bring it right here. This window, you're gonna want to make it big because for some reason it makes it the wrong size when you start off. Okay, pretty much you have all your drums right here. A lot of them are different. Like Chinese cymbal is actually a crash cymbal. Splash cymbal is actually crash cymbal. I put Chinese to China cymbal so you won't fucking forget it. You know, you just click them. And you just hear it like that. It's pretty cool. And you're like, oh, hey. Of course, no one can fucking drum like that. There's a snare right there. The snare roll right here. It's underneath it. It's pretty cool. I dig it. Except you're never gonna want to fucking make it like that. Usually what I do, you're not gonna want everything that close together. If you want to change like the way the notes are, click right here. Put it on like 16th or 32nd at least, so you're not like fucking, you know, drumming like a fucking retard. Oh shit. Where's the Chinese? Oh shit. No, I don't want a China. It'll sound really cool like this. It'll be like, you know? And you just mess around with it. If you want like triplet notes, like I said, you go to that button up there that says quantize. It's like right near the top, like right, oh shit, blur. It's like right here. And there's 16th triplets, 8th triplets, you know, the fucking shit. These are pretty much just the type of notes. It's pretty cool. Oh yeah, anything you can do with the right click right here, you can do up here in this corner too. It's just a lot easier to right click and like change to like the drumstick tool. You're gonna want to have the drumstick tool selected when you're making the notes. Like if you just have it on the cursor, you're not gonna do anything. You can drag. That's all you can do. And the erase tool. And if you want to drag multiple notes, like if you want to change the symbol, just highlight them all, then drag them to like. That's a crash symbol right there. And you can go back. It's pretty cool. And, just exit out of that little box right there. Don't exit out of the main thing, just exit out of that. And then you'll be back here. And that's your drum track. You can copy and paste it, make it long, whatever the hell you want. Usually if you have a MIDI track and drag it in, things will be different. Like the cymbals won't be in the right place, so you have to find where they are and drag them and put them in the right spot, like in here. Like, these will be in the wrong spot, so you have to highlight all of them and go through the whole track and drag them back to the right spot. Like that. Say it's like on a tom and you don't want it on a tom. Do you want the largest part? No, what the fuck? No. Yeah, it's only saying that because it's dragging it out, and I don't want to drag it out. Yeah. That's cool. But yeah, that's the drum track, pretty much. And that's how you do drums. You don't need to EQ it or put any effects. That's pretty much all you need to do. Vocals. I do 2 vocal tracks, because I like the way it sounds. A lot of people really don't. You really don't need to. But the main important thing, like that's what the EQ curve looks like. You're going to want to cut all of this, because you do not need any of that low sound in the vocal mix. Boost a little bit right here and here to give it more of an airy feel so it sits on top of the mix. And put an effects send. What a send is pretty much at the bottom here, I have an effects channel. Pretty much what you do on the sidebar right here, what you can do is right click, add effects channel track, then go to reverb and roomworks. And then do that and click accept. Because I already have one here, I'm not going to do that. Roomworks. And then and then you can mess with the settings in Roomworks. I usually have it at like, I don't fuck with anything else. I just change the reverb time to 170 and 27. But make sure the mix is at 100. That is important. Very, very fucking important. Keep the mix at 100. That pretty much tells you how much reverb is going to be in that section right there. Oh yeah, I have a little channel right here just for my bass drops. But make sure the volume on the bass drop is, oh wow, that's really fucking high. It shouldn't be that high, but I mean, I'm just saying, make the bass drops like slower. The lower volume, because like when you're mastering it, it'll turn out a lot louder. anyways, that's a vocal. Pretty much when you create that effects channel track that I showed you down there, that effects track, to add that to a vocal chain, click the little E for the effects, and then go to sends. And click on one of these, then click RoomWorks. That's going to be the effects channel that you just created. And then when you click on it, this will show up. Click the power button and make sure it's on. And I usually put it around -18. That's good for a vocal. That's how much you want to put on it. That's really good. And and when you have two vocal tracks, make sure the volume on one is 4 decibels lower than the other one. This is a 2. The other one I have at -2. And it sounds really good together. And usually I put a compressor. Do the same compression settings I did for the bass. Put the ratio all the way up to 8 and the threshold at -25. Don't fuck with anything else. It should look like that. I'm shaking. I don't know why. And then put a de-esser on next. Leave that at the fucking default, that at 5. Set it to male. I don't know why, but it defaults it to female. But put it on male and then put auto threshold on. It defaults it like this. So what you want to do pretty much is just this and this. You should be fine. Then blockfish. That's really important for scream vocals. I have a preset for this. It's called Jamin, so just double click on that and it should automatically preset it for you. But what that does is that gives it the grit, that makes it sound like a scream vocal. It's pretty friggin' awesome. Don't mess with it too much though, because pretty much what it is the tube saturator. And if you saturate it too much, it'll sound really shitty. And then at the very end, add more compression. Same thing. The vocals should be compressed the fuck out of, just ratio of 8, threshold -25. Don't mess with anything else. And that should make it sound really good. But always make sure you compress it twice, once before and after the whole entire mix. And that'll make your vocals sound good. Do it to both tracks. Or if you're only recording one track of vocals, just do it like that. And that's pretty much it to recording. When you're all done, just make sure you mix everything. The guitars shouldn't overpower the drums. The bass should just sit under the mix, but just so you can barely hear it, And vocals should sit on top of the mix. Just send it to me, and I'll just tell you, what the fuck. This is a tempo track. You don't necessarily need it, but if you have changes in tempo, just create a tempo track and just drag it whenever there's a tempo change. It's pretty cool. What else? There's something else I want to fucking tell you. I forget. Oh yeah, when you start up a new project, go to new project, then just start an empty project. Like this. Then do everything I told you before, create a drum track, Steven Slate drums. Then set up the drum set. I'm not gonna fucking do it now, but set up the drum set. Remember, GM map, and do this to go to fucking set up the drum set. We're not gonna do that now though. Add audio track. I don't know why, but it defaults it to stereo. Make sure it's mono. All the tracks have to be mono. And that is very, very fucking important. Make everything mono, because if you have it stereo, you're going to end up recording a guitar track with only one side to it, and you don't want that. So make it mono. I usually make 4, 1 for each, 2 for the rhythm guitar, 1 for the lead guitar, and 1 for the bass. I should probably make 1 for the vocal, too. Add audio track. 2 mono. For 2 vocals. I usually do 2 vocals. You can do 1. It's a lot easier. It sounds cleaner. I just like mine because I edit them crazy to make them sound good. And that's pretty much it. Just make sure it's highlighted and that button is red before you record. And then once that's all, once you have the guitar track set up and everything with all the EQ and everything, click the record button down here and it'll start recording whatever track is armed to record. It's pretty cool. Press F11. F11. That'll bring up your... No, never mind. Fuck that. Scratch that. Devices. VST connections. That'll tell you what your connections are. Right now I don't have any connections. But make sure, if you have a stereo in, make sure you delete the fuck out of that shit. And just click add bus and make it mono. And whatever your device is set to that, my audio interface isn't hooked up, but usually it would be PreSonus mic input 1, whatever it is, and that's what that is. The output should always be stereo. And then to set those up on the tracks right here, select the audio track, go here, and select the input bus, like mono in. That's what I just showed you over in the VST connections up there. And then stereo out. And then, like, if you're not getting any sound out of your track once you're recording, it's either because you don't have these set up right, or this button's on right here. That's only for playback while you're recording. Another thing, if you're setting up your audio interface, go to device setup. Like, there are a bunch of different drivers. If you have your pod farm thing plugged in, click ASIO UX2 once it's plugged in, and then change everything from there. Like, this is mine right now, you know, and then I'll tell you pretty much where everything is. It takes a lot of fucking around with, and that's how you record. I hope that helps. If you have any questions, let me know. Oh, and if not, just, you know, file, open. I have so many fucking songs in here, it's ridiculous. Like, Call Me Maybe. I have so many fucking Call Me Maybe things, dude. Go to CMM Reel. Open that up. And then just use everything on here as a preset. Actually, no, fuck. Never mind. No, I don't. This wasn't the right fucking... Fuck, you know what? Forget that. Forget that last part. Whoa, I don't know why my hand was just having a spasm there. But yeah, oh, if you want a good never mind. I fucking told you everything. You know what to do. If you have any questions, let me know. I mean, I'm going to be gone for 2 months, but you know, you can email me and I'll fucking tell you what to do latest. This is... yeah. So, you know how to record now. Yay, fuck yourself.